Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc surprised the Formula One paddock during the Japanese Grand Prix weekend, but not due to a daring move or a dramatic dash to the podium. This time, it was their voices, not their on-track performances, that reverberated across the F1 world. Amid a race filled with strategic complications and an underwhelming performance from the SF25, both Ferrari drivers took to the team radio with unusual candor, letting their frustrations spill out in real time. It wasn't just a momentary lapse of composure. It exposed something more profound, a rift growing within Ferrari between what's hoped for and what's being delivered. These weren't isolated complaints. They hinted at a deeper problem. With only 3 races completed in the 2025 season, Ferrari, a team expected to contend for the title, is already grappling with crisis. And the pressure is mounting fast. The leaked team radio clips from Suzuka are more insightful than any carefully worded press statement. In this video, we're diving into every detail of what's going wrong at Ferrari, from Hamilton's calm but pointed plea for answers, to Leclerc's sharp pushback against team instructions. We'll analyze the context, the performance issues that fueled these moments, and how they tie into a bigger, unsettling narrative. Ferrari may be losing its grip once again. Before we go any further, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this fast-developing story. What we're about to uncover could signal the start of something very serious brewing in Maranello. Let's start with what actually went down over the airwaves in Suzuka. Hamilton, struggling with pace and clarity, asked his engineer a crucial question. "I'd really like some info on where I'm slow, mate." The answer he got? Turns 8, 9, 13, and 14. But Lewis wasn't satisfied with just corner numbers. He pressed further. "Okay, but how much? Let me know." His tone was calm, yet tinged with frustration. This wasn't about pointing fingers. It was about not having the necessary feedback to compete effectively. Meanwhile, Leclerc was engaged in a different kind of battle, not with a rival car, but with his own team. When told to change a setting related to engine braking, he fired back bluntly. "Yes, you've already told me. I don't do it for a reason." This kind of defiance from a usually composed driver was telling. It signaled a disconnect between what the engineers were advising and what Leclerc was experiencing from behind the wheel. These radio exchanges weren't random outbursts. They're the latest in a troubling pattern that's plagued Ferrari since the start of the season. After getting disqualified in China due to plank wear violations and enduring a disappointing outing in Australia, Japan was supposed to be a reset. Instead, Suzuka just amplified Ferrari's existing issues. The SF25 continues to show a narrow setup window, sensitivity to ride height, and a downforce disadvantage when compared to Red Bull and McLaren. Leclerc, who finished 4th, described the race as annoying, admitting he felt like he was on an island, unable to compete with the front-runners despite executing a solid race with minimal errors. He crossed the line 16 seconds behind the leader, a margin that speaks volumes, especially at a circuit where Ferrari has historically been competitive. Though Leclerc noted that the car's balance was acceptable, he emphasized the performance simply wasn't there. Hamilton, on the other hand, had an even tougher time cracking into the top 6, ultimately finishing 7th. Post-race, he confirmed a rumor that had been circulating for weeks. One of the components on his SF25 had been underperforming since the season opener. Ferrari only recently identified the issue. "I'm really hoping once that's fixed, I'll start seeing some better results," Hamilton shared with the media. That admission raises a concerning question. How did a team with Ferrari's resources let a performance flaw linger for 3 full race weekends? What's becoming increasingly evident is that Ferrari's current issues aren't just about one race result or one broken part. They're part of a broader, systemic problem. While headlines might zero in on Hamilton's frustration or Leclerc's terse radio reply, the real story lies beneath. Technical inconsistencies, development misfires, and a worrying breakdown in communication and cohesion. Let's look at the car itself. The SF25 was pitched as Ferrari's fresh start, a clean slate design that promised better balance, improved downforce, and a more stable aerodynamic platform. But just 3 rounds into the season, serious flaws are emerging. The car is highly sensitive to ride height adjustments, suffers from chronic plank wear, and now, thanks to Hamilton's revelation, We know there's also a faulty component that slipped through preseason testing and 2 full Grand Prix weekends. That's not just poor setup, that's a breakdown in internal quality control. This also brings into question how thoroughly Ferrari is analyzing driver feedback and telemetry. If a part isn't performing and neither the engineers nor the data teams flag it until race 3, how meticulous are Ferrari's internal checks? Add to that ongoing complaints from both drivers about unpredictable traction, specifically under acceleration, and it becomes clear that there's a persistent issue with rear-end stability. That's a big deal. When a car lacks consistency at the rear, drivers lose confidence, making it harder to extract performance during qualifying and to manage tires over a race stint. Strategy is another sticking point. In Japan, Ferrari again looked reactive rather than proactive. Leclerc's tire strategy, starting on mediums and switching to hards, made sense on paper, but it lacked strategic aggression. There were no bold undercuts, no attempt to split tire strategies to pressure Red Bull or McLaren. It was a conservative race, and the results showed it. 4th and 7th isn't a disaster, but for a team chasing wins, it feels like settling. Most concerning, however, is the growing communication breakdown between the pit wall and the drivers. The radio conversations during the race weren't just awkward, they were indicative of a deeper problem. Hamilton's back and forth asking, "Where am I slow?" followed by vague sector mentions, and then his need to press for more detail reveals a lack of actionable feedback. Drivers need clear, real-time information to make in-race adjustments. The fact that Hamilton had to chase that mid-race shows something isn't working behind the scenes. Leclerc's snap response about engine braking, "You've already told me. I don't do it for a reason," is equally revealing. That's not just heat-of-the-moment frustration. That's a driver who feels ignored. And when both Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, and Leclerc, Ferrari's long-trusted talent, seem disconnected from their engineers during the same race weekend, it begs the question, where is the leadership? Jacques Villeneuve recently noted that Hamilton hasn't just joined Ferrari, he's already reshaping the team dynamic. That might sound like a bold claim, but it rings true. Hamilton brings decades of success, a unique working style, and a level of authority that inevitably shifts the internal balance. If Leclerc senses that shift, as Naomi Schiff suggested, we could be looking at more than just technical or strategic growing pains. Ferrari might be entering an identity crisis. This is a team at a critical juncture. The SF25 doesn't yet have the pace to match Red Bull or McLaren. The race strategies are still too cautious. The communication in high-pressure moments is breaking down, and now both lead drivers are signaling dissatisfaction, not with each other, but with the tools and support they're being given. Unless Ferrari acts quickly, with real upgrades, better coordination, and a restoration of trust across the garage, this season won't be a championship bid. It'll be another year of missed opportunities and excuses. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think Ferrari needs to address first? Is it the car itself, the race strategy, the internal communication, or is it all of the above? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy in-depth F1 breakdowns like this, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Because if this tension continues to build behind closed doors, the fallout could go far beyond a few spiky radio exchanges. It might redefine Ferrari's trajectory for years